Okay, good evening and welcome to Golden Heroes. This is, I believe, episode 14 tonight, and this is part 3 of the Lancelot Caper. So, to run over events from our previous sessions. So, if you recall, last time you were called to the EEC Summit of Finance Ministers, which was happening at Farnsworth Hall by DICE. As you recall, you are now essentially working as a as an official super team, dubbed the New Eagles, and in your capacity, you'd been summoned by DICE to assist with a hostage situation at Farnsworth Hall. So the finance ministers from EEC nations, bearing in mind these adventures are taking place in 1984, were being held hostage by a group called Pallet. And Pallet, I can never remember the name, but I believe it's the People's
Army.
People's Army for Liberation from Economic Terrorism. There we go.
Yeah.
And if you recall, there was a superhuman by the name of Agent Silver who was waxing lyrical in front of the assembled media, and Colonel Hansen from DICE had asked you to distract him and his other superpowered associates so that the DICE strike teams could enter the building from the rear and rescue the hostages whilst you were keeping the superhumans busy. So you proceeded to do so. So you engaged in combat with several of the Pallet agents, so including Agent Silver himself, along with I think Agent Emerald, who was essentially a giant gorilla, and Agent Brown, who looked like a sumo wrestler who could turn the ground into mud, interestingly, and Agent Azure, who was a flying female flyer, and this you kept them occupied, and you managed to subdue. Certainly, Agent Orange was subdued. He was the guy with the gas gun, so he was left unconscious, as was Agent Brown. And as I recall, Agent Emerald, I don't think we established, but I think Agent Emerald essentially ran off, because what happened was that the DICE agents had emerged from the building and they'd basically rescued the hostages. And along with these agents was a powered armor character that was introduced to you by Agent Colonel Hansen as being an experimental suit of armor called the Lancelot armor, which was being developed, and DICE were basically testing it, and so it had been used in this exercise. Now, during the course of the battle, if you remember, Anorin had been pursuing Agent Azure and had chased her into the woods, and then he'd returned, and then just as DICE were kind of wrapping things up, Anorin had approached the Lancelot armor and had essentially teleported away, to the surprise of everybody, leaving the three of you and the DICE agents looking slightly embarrassed in front of the media. So at the moment, we return, and Colonel Hansen obviously looks around and is like, she looks at you, Hyde, and Face Strike, and she's like, "What the hell's happened? Where's he gone?" And she's sort of trying to shield her mouth behind her hand, aware that there are press still filming and watching. And she says, "What the hell's happened? What's he doing?"
Your guess is as good as ours.
Are you telling me this isn't part of some plan? She says, right. She goes, inside the hall now. And she says, no more questions to the press. And she essentially leads you into the hall, and the DICE agents, as I say, they've captured Agent Brown and Agent Orange. Agent Silver seems to have got away, as has Agent Emerald. And as you're taken into the hallway of the Grand Farnsworth Hall, it's a great big reception area with big grand staircase, and you can see that there are paramilitary types with their hands behind their heads being sort of marched out by more of these DICE special forces troops. And you can also see as you say gather in the hall, there's a dining room or a library to the left of the reception hall, and in there you can see what looks like the finance ministers being attended to by medical personnel from DICE. And so there's much confusion going on. So she sort of says, "In here, quick!" and she leads you into this. She leads you into this into an ante room, a study or something. And she goes, "Listen, what the hell's going on? Where is he?"
So Steve, he just vanished, didn't he?
Yeah. So he basically came out of the woods, having chased Agent Azure off as in his dragon form, if you remember.
Yeah.
He'd emerged, had come over and sort of looked at you and said, "Oh, she got away." And then
Yeah.
as things were wrapping up, he just literally put his hand on the Lancelot armor and then just teleported away. Now, I'm going to keep Kevin quiet for a moment because for reasons that will become clear. So just he can't really answer you because he doesn't quite know what's going on here. He's not here.
He's vanished.
He's absolutely vanished. So now obviously
they're in on it with me.
So it's clear to you both. Obviously, you don't genuinely have any idea what's happened here.
I genuinely don't.
And so anyway, Hansen is so she's walking around and she's like calling on her. She pulls out her radio communicator and she's like, "This is Hansen to all DICE assets on the perimeter. Has anyone spotted Anorin or the Lancelot armor?" And she gets a string of negative. And as that happens, then basically she gets a call from one of the. She goes, "Wait a minute. This is operative 14. Did you say Anorin? He's just coming out of the woods." And you kind of rush over to the window and she sort of looks out to the window to see, and sure enough, out of the woods is a confused looking Anorin, and he kind of he's walking over to the hall, and then the members of the press all kind of like, they go sort of literally tearing across the gravel here, shoving microphones in his face. And Hansen says, "Get him in here now!" And these the DICE soldiers kind of intervene and push these guys back.
I will be swearing at them in Welsh.
Yeah, and Anorin is brought in, and Hansen's like, "Okay, a joke's a joke. What have you done with my armor?"
At this, what armor? What are you talking about? What? I don't understand. What armor?
The suit of armor that you just magicked away, I assume, in front of the world's press.
One cannot simply magic away armor. That's not how magic works. What are you talking about, woman?
Are you telling me that you didn't 5 minutes ago stand on the steps in front of this hall and disappear with the UK government's most advanced human augmentation suit? Is that what you're telling me?
5 minutes ago, I was face down in leaves, wondering what hit me.
She goes, "Oh hell!"
And Norin, what's the last thing you remember, other than that? Before that,
so I was unconscious a minute before. So I remember getting to the woods, not seeing Azure, looking up, seeing a black shadow, and then that was it. But I got a big bump on the back of my head.
And if any of you care to take a look, you do indeed see that he's actually, someone clearly has clocked him on the back of the head. And Hanson takes a look, and she kind of looks at, and she's like, "Okay, we've got a real problem. We've got a real problem." And at that moment, her radio buzzes, and she's like, "Yes, what is it?" And oh, ma'am, this is Sentry One. Yeah, Sentry One here. Yeah, we've got someone to see you. He says he's from StarTech, and he wants to talk to you about the armor. And she's like, "Oh, you're kidding me." Oh, okay. Listen, bring him into the library. And he says, "Roger." And she goes, "Okay, this is, if this is who I think it is, we're going to have to play this very carefully." And she says, "Listen, I'll explain when he arrives." And so anyway, a minute later, Sentry comes in and brings in a guy. I know he looks like a reporter, but bear with. And because this is like Avengers Doomsday without the budget, right? So I just have to make do.
Steve, StarTech, those did they create the armor? Are they responsible for it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she says, "Look," she goes, "Listen, Mr. It's Mr. Garson, isn't it?" And he says, "That's right. Yes, I'm Brian Garson. I'm senior technical officer for StarTech. Now, listen, I was on my way over here, and someone's told me some load of nonsense about the armor being stolen. Is that correct?" And she says, "Well, Mr. Garson, listen, we're just trying to get to the bottom of things right now.
Fake news.
What's that?
Fake news.
Yeah. He says, "I'm going to just let me just brief the Eagles here about the situation, and then we'll bring you up to speed. Is that acceptable?" And he says, "Oh, very well." And he's clearly like a tech bro before there was tech bros, because again, bearing in mind it's the 80s, but he's wearing like an expensive watch and a well tailored suit. And she says, "So Mr. Garson represents StarTech, and StarTech had developed the Lancelot armor and have come to an agreement with DICE that we would field test it. The idea of the armor, obviously, it's designed to enhance human ability, and so far in our tests, it has performed admirably. I think it's fair to say. Now, obviously, Mr. Garson here is our liaison with StarTech. Now, Mr. Garson, I've just literally learned that that the armor has indeed been taken without our permission." And he's like, "What? I thought you people were supposed to be experts in the field. How on earth?" And she goes, "If you'll just give me a moment, I'm just trying to get to the bottom of this." Now, to those of us on the scene, it appeared as if our friend Honorin here had removed the armor. However, it seems as if, in fact, he has been impersonated by somebody who has removed the armor without his knowledge. Now, the good news is, Mr. Garson, that we have managed to take prisoners from the terrorist organization who were holding the finance ministers hostage. And so you can rest assured we shall be interrogating them, and I'm sure that it will only be a matter of time before the armor is back in our possession. This is all part of counter-terrorism, counterintelligence, and this is what DICE do. So you must leave it up to the professionals. We will be, I guarantee you that we will do everything in our power to get the armor back to you. And that's right, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? She looks at you all.
It's at this moment, it's
definitely.
out of game. In this moment of time, has Peking Duck been done or not? We haven't done,
No.
have we?
No, we haven't done
forget
Peking
that.
Duck.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep quiet.
So Garson looks. I mean, he's ultimately there's not a lot he can do at this point, because clearly this would be an embarrassment for him as well. So he basically says, "Very well, Colonel, I trust you will keep me fully in the loop on this. I will withhold sharing this with the StarTech board and with the Armed Forces Minister for the moment, but this must be your number one priority. You must recover the armor before it is used for God knows what purposes. He says, anyway, I've got some calls to make, and he leaves. And so she is left with you, and she goes, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we need to find this. Rest assured, the armor had been performing well in our trials, and it's certainly of concern to me if this armor is in the possession of a terrorist organization, and they have the ability to utilize it. This could be a major security issue. Now, listen, I trust you and your abilities. You know, so far you've performed extremely well. But I must emphasize that this must be your number one priority to get this back. Is that clear?
Understood.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. She goes, very well. Listen, I will run interference with the defense minister if needed. You know, we have wide latitude, and I would suggest that you perhaps regroup at your do whatever you need to do, but I will oversee personally the interrogation of the pallet agents. Now, just out of game, I don't think none of you have really got any sort of telepathic abilities or anything, have you? If I remember
No,
rightly.
I don't.
No.
I don't know whether I've got a magical.
I'm sure Anurin has got something.
Yeah, Swiss Arm. I'm sure Swiss Army Anorin has got something. By the way, folks, I fixed those links. So if you're able to find the Golden Heroes webpage, I've fixed your character links now.
Oh, nice, cool.
So
maybe I'm looking at an old version.
if you just refresh it, it should update, and you should see the links are there now.
Steve, before she wanders off, can I ask her
Yes.
how classified are the schematics for the armor? Are we allowed to get a look at them?
She says, well, they are classified. She goes, however, at this point, she says, I don't have much to lose. She says, certainly. She says, listen, if you and your, I'll tell you what, you and your, I'll get your pilot to fly the Eagle Wing to bring you back to London base. I'll meet you there. That's where I'm going to be carrying out interrogations anyway. So when we're there, I'll pull the schematics and you can get a look at them. It would be a good idea for you to get an idea of their capabilities, at least. I agree.
What year is it?
1984.
84. So
Yep.
the pager technology, does it have a pager built into the armor?
It's a good shout, but no, it doesn't. At least I don't think so. I mean, let's have a look. Where is the
pages? Because that's right. PH.
Nah, it doesn't. I mean, essentially, I'll go through it when we get to look at the schematics. But it's essentially designed to be. It's basically power armor. I mean, at this point, no, it doesn't have remote access or anything, or even as you say, pager, or even tracking. They can't.
So pages came out in 1949. So
yeah, but I don't think anyone thought to build one in there. Maybe a good suggestion for the next iteration. So
yeah,
no,
we'll chuck a page.
nothing I can see suggests it has anything like that.
No, if you put a pager in it, then you can trace it. So you don't want to.
Yeah.
That makes it too easy.
Yeah. So no, nothing like that. So anyway, Hanson says yes. She's happy for you to get access to it. Yeah.
Sorry. Would you be able to put the link back in Discord because
yeah.
Is it the Legacy of Heroes, the Hall of Heroes? It
is Legacy of Heroes, and if you go to Hall of Heroes, and then it's at the top level of Hall of Heroes, and you should see there's the 4 characters there, and they should have underlined. I'm looking at it now, and if I click on it, it opens up your character sheet.
If I click on it, I get Google Drive. You need access.
Really? Oh, okay. Yeah. Wait a minute. Right, bear with me 1 second then. Right, this is live technical support, people. So.
Sorry.
Let me just make sure. No, it's all right. It's good that you checked it, because it might just be that I need to change the permissions on it. So just bear with me. I'm just looking at the permissions.
There is a link for me to request access. I
minute.
just need it as a viewer, don't I? Not commenter or an editor.
That's correct. Let me just go into the... Kerrin, have you got the same problem? If you look at it, do you get the same issue?
Yeah, I mean, it's asking me to log into Google and what have you.
That's okay. Let me just see if I can open up the permissions on it, because like you say, you shouldn't have to do that. Let's have a look. Nice file information. Security limitations. Oh, okay. Yeah, there we go. So, right, if I do, I'll do phase strike first. File information. Who has access? Manage access. Okay, so if you refresh your page now, Sarah Jane, you should be able to get into it. And I'm just doing hide now.
Yes, I can. Brilliant.
And I'll do the same with hide. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, that's on me. I forgot to change them because it defaults to private access.
Ah.
Manage access and general access. Anyone with the link. Done. Right. Hide, you should be good as well now. Sorry, Kerrin, you should better get in there.
Let's have a look. Perfect. Yep. All good.
Thank
Excellent.
you.
Nice. So again, looking at your character sheets, I don't think any of you now. Again, Honorian's always the wild card in these situations. No, because you've got obviously you've got probability manipulation, which might be useful. But your magic is enhancement, which is I think you can buy additional superpowers. Is that right? With enhancement?
Yes. So I
But
can also
know.
give them, but it's actually, yeah.
So enhancement says cost you 5 magic points, but the only superpowers you have, the only choices are speed, invisibility, flight, combat skill, strength, regeneration. So there's no hypnosis or anything or mental abilities there. But anyway, DICE have got, they've got experienced interrogators. So I guess it's not your problem immediately. So are you all happy to get back to go along with what Hanson has suggested? In other words, get back into the Eagle Wing, and then she'll basically head for the base in London, and you can regroup there. Seem fair?
Let's go.
Cool. Okay, so you all troop back to the Eagle Wing. Your pilot. Oh God, I wish I could remember her name. I've got it written down somewhere. Your pilot. She's like, where to, boss? And Hanson just says, "Oh yeah, we'll." Or she says, "No." She says, "It's all right. Colonel Hanson's told me we're heading back to London." So you climb into the vehicle, and she takes off, and you start flying across the skyline. Probably quite relieved to be away from the eyes of the press. As you lift off, there are still police lights flashing below you, and you can still see the gaggle of people, and there are ambulances and stuff now gathering. And obviously, the good news is that the finance ministers were rescued. Nobody was harmed. So you proceed off to London. So you fly off, and after about 15 minutes, your pilot, oh God, I wish I could remember what her name was. Your pilot, she calls, because I'm going to base, by the way, because Jason's not here, although Captain Sonar's around, I'm just going to sort of not refer to him. So just because I don't want to put him into any situation if he's not around to manage himself. So although he's there, I'll kind of talk around him if that's okay. Yep. So she says, she goes, "What do you make?" She says, "Hyde, can you come up here for a minute?" And you go up to the cockpit again. It's quite the vehicle's quite small, but she's sat up at a pilot seat at the front, and she says, "Listen." She goes, "Listen, I've got something coming up on radar," and she's looking at the. She shows you on her, instrument panel. She's got like a typical radar repeater, and you can see as the radar detector is spinning around, you can see that there's a contact approaching from the, from the port side, and she says it's not a missile. She goes, I'm not quite sure what it is, but it's coming closer.
What sort of speed is it traveling at, Steve?
It's certainly doing a few hundred miles an hour, because obviously you're in a jet. This the Eagle Wing is it's a jet powered vehicle. I mean, it's not like supersonic. So you're probably doing, I don't know, 300 miles an hour, something like that.
Right, and it's sort of,
and this thing, it seems to be catching up with you.
up. Right, okay.
But she says it doesn't seem to be. It's just trying to catch up with us. It doesn't seem to be doing anything. It's not. It's, as I say, it's not a projectile. It's bigger than that. She goes,
Have you
Take a
tried slightly altering course just in case it just happens?
Yeah, I was going to ask if that's okay for me to try and make some discreet evasive manoeuvres to see whether whatever it is follows us.
Do it.
So she begins to make she makes like a banking turn to starboard. And those of you obviously the wing kind of tilts to the right, and sure enough, this thing changes course to keep pace with you. And again, it's getting closer. Now basically you're flying over fields at the moment, so you're not over London yet.
So we obviously don't want any sort of mid-air not collision, but confrontation. So is there anywhere that she can bring the jet down?
Yeah, indeed. So you're basically flying over, I guess I'm going to say Kent, because that makes sense. And so there's plenty of open fields, and so she can easily. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Before we land, can I just check how far away this is? Like, can we actually see it?
It's a few hundred meters away. I mean, you can, if you have a look. I mean, basically, you've got.
I think I've got really good eyesight. So
you have. Good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
Can I see it?
But the eyes of an eagle.
I just want to check it's not a suit of armor.
Good point. Yeah. Now you look out. Yeah. So basically, you kind of go to the port side, and there are. I haven't got the image to hand, but I'm sure that there are a view. There's like a viewport on it. There's like a window on each side. Certainly where the door is. And so you kind of go and peer through the door, and the view's not great. It's like being in a helicopter with So you've got windows, but they're not the best. But you have a look, and sure enough, you can see what looks to be a man, or a man-shaped, shall we say, object flying along. Now, with your extra eyesight, Faced, right? Because again, you have animal senses, so you've got much better eyesight than normal. You realise, however, this is not the same armour that you saw at the hall. In fact, this is something. This actually seems to be a figure that you recognise, and if you have a look on the, if any of you are in the, I think you're all in there. So this figure is who is keeping pace with you. Now this is again somebody in a suit of armour, powered armour. But you see that he's kind of wearing what looks to be some sort of a high-tech jetpack as well. So his armor is not. He doesn't seem to have flight in his armor on its own, but he's wearing like an additional rig over the top of it, and it looks like a jetpack for all intents and purposes. And you recognise this as being the hero slash personality known as Technon. Who is a mysterious, technologically powered hero, although it is rumoured that he has links to StarTech, the company which makes the Lancelot armour. So this is not the same as the Lancelot armour, but you certainly, Face Right, you recognise him, as would any of you, because although he's relatively well known. And as I say, he seems to be following you. And again, sure enough, as you bring the Eagle Wing into land, he comes down, and you land in a field of, I don't know, rapeseed or something. And the Eagle Wing settles in amongst this field. And as the vehicle's like settling, he comes into land and approaches the vehicle. And he... as you presumably exit the ship, he's like, "Who's in charge here?" And his voice is filtered, so this armor is It's clearly, it sounds like a man's voice, but you can't be sure because it's filtered through his presumably through some sort of communication system. But he's like, "Who's in charge here?"
Do we have a leader, actually?
No, we're a committee, aren't we? We
yeah, you're a people's collective.
That's it. we push Captain Sonar forward.
Well, I suppose he's captain, isn't he?
That's it. Yeah.
That is true.
Okay. Well, okay, fine. That's Captain Sonar sort of pushing forward, and he's like, "Oh, okay." He says, "Apparently, I'm in charge."
A little NPC on NPC action.
NPC on NPC, yeah, exactly. He's okay. I'm Captain Sonar. Who are you? And you're sure that Captain Sonar knows exactly who he is, but he's probably just doing it to be prickly. And he says, my name is Technon. I need to talk to you about the armor that you managed to lose. and in particular, I want to talk to him. And he points at Anorin. He goes, "I've seen the news reports. I want to know what your colleague here has done with our property." And so
I'm tempted to go invisible.
He's done nothing with your property. Not that it's any of your business, but we've established that whoever took the armor was masquerading as Anorin. For one thing, Anorin doesn't have the ability to teleport, which would be a giveaway if you'd actually done any research.
Well, Captain, this is an American citizen. He has no legal jurisdiction here.
Technon says, "What do you mean? I'm not American. What are you talking about?"
Well, there's that southern drawl in your voice, mate. We can all hear you dropping vowels.
And Sonar says, "Listen here, listen, Teflon. Let me speak to my people." He goes, "What did you call me? Did you just call me Teflon?" He says, "Oh, sorry, Technon. Is that your name? Doesn't exactly trip off the tongue, does it? Listen."
Oh, like a Tonka toy, really, isn't he?
Yeah, like a Tonka toy. He says, "Listen, I represent StarTech, a global technical company, and one of your colleagues apparently has stolen our equipment. So I'd like to know what happened to it."
Well, you've been misinformed, and any communication of this nature should go through the proper channels. You're actually impeding our investigation. So if you want this armor found, you should let us on our way and speak to our representatives through the proper channels.
If what you need to do, mate, is go to the American consulate, the American embassy, and get them to pass the note on to the government.
So you're doing a great job of annoying him. He says, "What?" He says, "Listen here." He says, "Listen here, hippie." Talking to you. He says, "I've told you already. I'm not American." He says, "I'll tell you what the proper channels will be. The proper channels will be me wiping the floor with the lot of you." And as he speaks, his chest plate begins to glow.
Ooh.
And he sort of like, he says, "So are you gonna answer my questions, or is this gonna have to get uncomfortable?"
Hang on, mate. Look, I could send one of us back to the Eagle Wing and get some a tin opener if you want.
Well, this is certainly going very well, isn't it?
I've got a tin opener right here, and I'll unsheath my bat.
Okay. So So
you're on your emblem, your pound notes, your dollars value. You've got an eagle, haven't you, mate? We've got a fucking dragon.
And he's like, so he's I mean, ultimately he's quite frustrated by this interaction, as you can imagine. And he's like, are you people seriously telling me that you had nothing to do with this equipment being stolen?
We could write that down for you if you didn't understand.
Ever the diplomat. So he says, "Listen," he says, I don't understand. If you didn't steal this equipment, why are you being so obstructive to me? I'm perfectly within my rights to ask you these questions. I told you I represent the manufacturer of the item that's been stolen. And it seems to me that, you know,
This is currently a
rather than
police
come in the
investigation.
attitude, you might actually want to help me in recovering it.
This is currently a police investigation, and therefore anything we say or do is part of a police investigation, and we cannot say or do anything that would jeopardise the current investigation. So, if you'd like to come down to the station at Paddington Green and make a statement,
Paddington Green,
I'm sure.
good pull.
I'm sure a member of staff there could take that statement and then advise you as to what the outcome is, or if you get your liaison through Solo or Dice or I want to say Biscuit.
Is it Biscuit?
Biscuit
That
was
was one of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
British something.
And that might be a space one. Anyway, if you put in a request for information, maybe somebody, a member of staff, could you could actually sign up to our newsletter, and we can send you out an update when we've typed it up and photostated it.
He said, so as you're talking, he suddenly puts his finger up at you. He says, "Wait a minute," and he says, "You're receiving a communication." And as he speaks, and the captain who flies your the Eagle Wing, she comes out of the vehicle into the middle of this, and she goes, guys, can I speak to you for a minute? And she says, Mr. Technon, would you mind waiting a moment? And she says, listen, I've got Colonel Hanson on the line. She's got some information for you. Can one of you come and take the call? It sounds urgent.
Yeah,
I thought I was going to have to put his finger.
Yeah, I ran in and talked to her.
Okay, so she says, hide, great. Listen, I don't. These pallet guys, they're not the most motivated. We got Agent whatever he was calling himself, or the one with the gas gun.
Yep.
We got him into an interrogation room, and within 30 seconds, he's copped a deal. She goes, listen, I've got an address. There's a warehouse in London which they were given as a.
One second. I'm going to turn around before she says the address. Turn around to see what Technon's doing, because I don't.
No, he can't hear this because this is inside the wing. He's still waiting outside.
Okay.
And she says, listen, I don't know how much faith to put in this, but he's told us that they were given an address of a warehouse in London as a fallback position for them to meet. So when they'd completed their mission at Farnsworth Hall, they were to travel separately, rendezvous at this address, and they would then be given further instructions there. It seems as if these goons, at least, that they've all just been paid by Pallet. Certainly these two, Orange and Brown. Certainly, as I say, Orange, he couldn't wait to cough to it in exchange for a lighter sentence. I've sent the address over to the wing, so you can go straight there.
Okay. Yep.
If you wish. She goes, but obviously, I think speed might be of the essence here. I don't know whether you'll find the armor there, but hopefully at least find some sort of trail to get you in the right direction. If anything else comes up from our conversations with him, I'll get back to you.
Okay.
We've probably got Technon sniffing around. He hasn't got any Technon. I know.
Okay, just tell him something to get rid of him. He's a paid stooge for StarTech.
So he's American, right? So he's got no jurisdiction.
He's not American. Why do you think he's American? He's not American. He's English, as far as I know. I've never met the man without the armor, but
he's got a bit of drool in his voice.
Maybe
he was just an idiot, so we assumed.
Yeah, I was going to say. She goes, I don't know about a drool. I always thought he was a bit of an arse, but
actually, do you know anything about his suit? Is it a case that if his suit's got the power to go, I don't know, 3, we could tell him we have to go 8 miles away and then go to the warehouse. Therefore, he can't get back and annoy us until he recharges his suit. Do we know that if that's a thing?
She goes, listen, I'll tell you what. Listen, I've got a better idea. Let me put a call in. I'll put a call into Gannon at the guy we spoke to earlier from StarTech. I'll get him to call off StarTech's lapdog. I don't want him blundering into this. He's a corporate lackey, this guy. I don't want him getting involved in this. And again, if we can retrieve the armor through our own efforts, it's going to be much better for Dice and for you guys. So give me 2 minutes. And this guy's still outside pacing up and down. And however, you notice as you're watching, a minute or so later, he seems like he basically puts his finger to his ear almost. You can see him, even though he's wearing this armor. And he seems to be having a conversation with somebody. And then he...
that was quick.
Basically, without another word, he pulls back on this jetpack that he's wearing. And he flies off. He basically takes off and flies off and then disappears out of sight. And so whatever Hansen has said seems to have done the trick, at least for now. So so she says, listen, I've spoken. They've agreed to call Technon off for now. They've given us 12 hours to see what we can do to progress. So I'll get some units into the area, but I suggest you guys go in first. We don't want to go in too heavy here in case the place is being watched or observed, or I don't want people on the ground that might tip them off that you're coming.
Yep, understood.
Cool. Okay, so you get back into the Eagle Wing. So say that again.
We can stop some distance away. I can make everyone invisible.
Yeah, perfect.
And we can go in invisible.
Sounds good.
Me.
Okay, so basically you file back into the Eagle Wing, and the captain takes off again, and you head off towards London, and it takes you about 20 minutes, and before long you're over the city.
We want to make sure that we circle around a couple of times to make sure that we're not being followed by Technon. Good
point. Okay, fine. So so exactly right. So she also checks the radar screen, and certainly if he is following you, he's not within radar range. So again, everything you've heard about Technon suggests he does it. Basically, he's a paid employee who works for StarTech. So presumably, if this got liaison that you spoke to has got any clout, then it's certainly easy to believe he's been told to stand down. But anyway, as far as you can tell, you haven't been followed, and so basically we switch over to. This is funny. I got ChatGPT to draw me a rundown warehouse in East London. I think it might have overdone it slightly, but anyway. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to a map of the area. Right, okay. So actually there's the Eagle Wing there. I'll just get rid of that. Okay, so this is... Can you guys all see the map okay?
Yes. Yeah. Is it like a roof?
I beg your pardon?
Is it like a roof?
That's the roof. That basically, I've put a plate over there to hide the ins because I've got a map of the inside in there, but I've just put a bit of metal over it to cover it because it suddenly occurred to me that it's more fun if you can't actually see what's going on inside until you actually go in. Sorry, when I say fun, I mean
Steve,
more dangerous. I don't know, Kevin. Just as a side note, this is this tool called Incarnate, which is like an online map drawing tool.
I know.
They're much better with the ones.
I was going to say the free version. Unfortunately, you're sort of limited to essentially D&D type stuff for free because I mean there's a free version, which is what I've done the map because I did Farnsworth Hall with the same tool.
Yeah, and that comes up much better
even though
than the ones we tried earlier.
Yeah. Even though the walls look a bit rubbish with the sort of big blocks of stone, but you get the idea. The point is just to give you an idea of the layout and everything. I've put a note on there as well to say that a square is a meter because again, judging by the way that it defaults the grid size, I'm going with that because it makes more sense. I figured out that a UK pavement is apparently 2 meters wide on average, so that makes sense with the map there.
And the
so
map's
just
called
bear
what?
in mind, It's called
What's the map called again?
Incarnate. And you can
Incarnate.
use Incarnate, and you can use. There's a free version. You sign in with a Google account, and you can draw. You can basically draw maps, but again, you're just limited to the resources that you can use for free. But I've managed to do the maps for this and Farnsworth and all that without too much trouble.
Cool. Yep.
So anyway, now bear in mind your characters. Obviously, the tokens are bigger than the squares, clearly. So as we did last time, just bear in mind if you're moving your figure, just kind of go with the center of the token, and so that would be moving sort of 1 meter, 2 meters, 3 meters, 4, and so on. So unfortunately, as I say, the tokens are oversized, but you get the idea. So essentially, you land somewhere far away, or a street away, out of sight of the warehouse, and I'll leave it up to you how you want to approach them. And again, you can place yourselves on the map as you like. But basically, what you see is there are warehouses. It's the East End of London, so it's before all of the kind of yuppieization of the East End. So these are all old sort of warehouses from the sort of 40s and 50s. And basically, you've got what looks like a person door here. I can never figure out how to. Oh, there you go. So that's like a personnel door, and over here, obviously, you've got what looks like a loading door. Those bigger doors are like big double doors, where presumably vehicles would deploy. Okay.
Are there any skylights or windows?
Well, you can have a look. So I guess let's
Is
think.
Kevin making us all invisible before we do anything?
Yeah,
so
so
you're all
we'll stop
invisible,
some distance off, and
Yeah,
I will make you invisible for how long?
Okay, so what I'm going to say is, so sort of up here. So it looks like there is so basically this is a 2-story structure. So ground floor and an upper floor. So it's judging by the height of the personnel door, which is obviously the size, is normal human size. And then the delivery doors around the side are double height. So it looks like it's a double height space. And on the roof in this corner, there appears to be a skylight. Again, I haven't drawn it on, but essentially up here in the corner there. You can't really see what I'm pointing at. So yeah, because I can't do the. I think because it's this is basically a tile that I can move. But if you imagine, so looking at the map, the bottom left corner, there is a skylight in the roof.
Okay.
And now there isn't any obvious means of getting onto the roof. However, obviously, face strike and wall crawl.
Yeah.
Hide, you can probably jump it actually, because of course I forget you and Captain Sonar have got super strength now. So
I want to see some of this wall crawling though.
Oh, can't we use the free Frozone's gun to create an ice steps to go up there?
Can do, yeah. If you want, you can get Captain
Yeah,
Sonar to do that.
Because that then takes nobody's. That doesn't cost anybody's points.
That makes total sense actually, because then you can use up some of his points, and it's not affecting the rest of you. I totally. That's a very practical solution.
Did anyone take any of the supervillains' weapons?
They weren't very bit crap, weren't they?
Gas gun.
Yeah, the gas gun was a bit rubbish.
Hasn't Gorilla got a Mankini?
Yeah, he's got head of Mankini. And don't forget, Agent Brown could turn the ground into mud, as he insisted on doing at every opportunity. So,
yeah, I think it's only Nutter that's got the gas gun, isn't it? Everyone else has got.
Yeah. I think Captain. I think the ice cannon was a good thing to nick actually. But I'm sure that guy will probably come back looking for it at some point. But anyway. Yeah, sure. I mean, you can do that if you wish. Like I say, I mean, face strike can just literally wall crawl up there, no problem. The rest of you, I'm going to assume you can get yourselves up there, no problem. Whether it's ice cannon or just by simply jumping or climbing up the wall, and you get onto the roof. Again, you've looked around. There doesn't seem to be you can't see anybody Obviously, watching the building. Like I say, this is it's getting dusk now, and it's there are street lights, but this is a rundown area of the East End. There's nothing much going on. These warehouses look as if they're abandoned. There's no evidence that they're in use. There's no lights on in any of them, and apart from the odd car or taxi that goes rattling by, there's no real evidence of there being anybody about particularly. So you managed to get to the roof of the warehouse unobserved without any real problem. And the skylight is there, and it's very grubby and caked with mud and grime. But if you want, you can you can sort of scrape away some of the crap. And looking inside, you can see an open space. I'm going to get rid of this counter now. There you go. So looking inside, basically if I just move you over a bit, so you see these steps here. So there is like an elevated walkway. If you imagine, it runs all the way round the building. So there's you've got the building there. If you imagine, that staircase comes from the ground, goes up one floor, and there is an elevated metal walkway all the way around, like a gantry, all the way around.
About 2-3 meters, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So the skylight is basically above from the sky. So basically, from the skylight, it looks like inside the skylight there is a it looks like there is a retractable ladder. It's like a loft ladder basically. So from that upper gantry, you can obviously access the skylight. So I guess it's there as a fire escape.
Okay.
So you can open up the skylight, and you can drop this ladder down. I mean, obviously, again, Face Strike can just wall crawl down, and those of you with super strength, you can just jump easily. But that's what the setup is. And inside the room, there is only there's very limited lighting, because there are no lights on. As it is dusk, there is light coming through the skylight. And from what you can see, you've got an open area with you've got what looks like offices. So these areas at the top here, with the sort of lighter grey areas at the top, these look as if they are offices. They're basically partitioned off. So the lighter areas where there's like a glass and sort of plasterboard partition around them, making office spaces. And then these kind of desk structures around the room, they're basically racking. So if you imagine, there is 2 or 3 levels of shelving scattered around the room, again over in the corner. And other than that, there's a few boxes and things that dotted about, but it looks to be abandoned. There is no obvious signs of life. Certainly, there's no actual electric light on at the moment. There is just the light coming through the skylight, which again is dusk. Now, Face Strike, again, you've got enhanced sight, so you can see quite clearly, and you can't see any evidence of any signs of life in the area that you can see from your vantage point up on the roof. So how would you like to proceed?
Do we think we've got the right place? Do we think we've been given enough information? Do we think we're there?
That's a very good question. At this point, there's nothing to. That's a very good question. At this point, there is nothing to. This is definitely the right address that was given to you by by Hanson. So you're in the right place now. Obviously, whether or not this Agent Brown was making it, or Agent Orange was making it up,
yep,
you don't know. But again, looking at it, it seems to be an abandoned warehouse. There doesn't seem to be any obvious evidence of there being anybody about. Again,
I mean, we did get here via jet, so we did get here quite promptly, didn't we? So maybe we're early.
So I can astral project and go in.
Yep.
So I just need a secure. So I've got enough spell points. So I need a secure area to put my body, whilst I astrally project and go in.
Okay.
In terms of communication, calm.
Well, I guess you can just astral project and then come back. You can have a quick scope and then come back and.
All right. So I'm gonna mentally count to 200. So I astrally project, go in, mentally count to 200, and then come back. So,
all right. So why don't you move? Go have a little move around on the map.
We all start going 1, 2, 3, and we kind of sync our what's it. So I'm going to astrally project. I guess I just float down.
Yeah, sure. So you just float. You just basically drop through the, So yeah, you're sort of up on the roof. You kind of you sort of lie down and become motionless, and your astral form, which obviously the others can't see, but you drift through the roof and you fly around. And again, you fly around the perimeter, and there's nothing. Again, no signs of any life. So if you go back down to where you just were, this over here. This looks to be. Damn it! Can't let me get this to work. So yeah, there you go. Bottom right. That looks to be a freight lift. That like one of those. It's a large elevator with those kind of corrugated metal doors.
Yep.
And this area here, the area above it, the grey area above it, seems to be like a washroom. So it's basically a toilet and or a couple of toilets and a sink. And as you say, these offices here at the top, they are exactly as they appear. They are an office space with a desk in them, and there's there's probably a chair. Now, one thing does. Oh, hang on a minute, because one thing does grab your attention. However, as you are flying through the offices, you notice lying on the desk there is a pile of papers, and if you get closer, you can see that they appear to be pallet propaganda material. They're like flyers for pallet.
Yep.
So that would certainly suggest that this place has some sort of a link to pallet.
Okay.
But again, there is no sign of habitation other than, as I say, those
we
papers.
I know there's a lift and there are stairs going. Stairs are going down.
No,
so
those stairs go up. No, those stairs go up from the ground floor up to the mezzanine. There's like a balcony that runs around.
Okay.
So there is a lift.
So I'm going to not chance going to the floor. Go to the lift and actually project. Trying to float down through the lift space.
Okay. So you float down through the lift. So I'm going to show you.
Rather than put the map on, I've got a map in front of me. If you want to do that,
no, it's okay. We can do it.
So they don't say anybody else sees it.
That's all right.
Can I just check if you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry, just checking.
Okay, so you float down the lift, and as you float out into the lift, then basically there is an area below. Now, in this area, first thing you see the woman who you had was described to you as Agent Azure. So she seems to be the woman that you chased.
Yeah.
And she basically is this area up at the top here is like a kitchenette, and she's essentially up there making herself a cup of coffee. She doesn't seem to be particularly bothered. And if you float around the area, again, this top left, we see that grey space at the top there. That's basically another toilet, like a chemical toilet or something.
Mm-hmm. And
then you can see that there are some bunk beds. These are like or I should say camp beds have been laid out. And these down the bottom here, these shelving units seem to be stacked with more of the pallet promotional material, like pamphlets and magazines. And then there is what looks over here. This desk here looks to be a printing press. There's like like a lithograph machine, like an old-fashioned photocopier. And then there is a desk here, again with a typewriter on it and some, stationery. But she's basically up here, and there is light on down here. So she's basically, she's basically making herself a cup of coffee. Again, totally normal behaviour. And obviously she can't see you, so you can observe her, and she seems to be quite oblivious. She's just making herself a cup of coffee in the kitchenette, and there doesn't seem to be any way for her to observe the upper floor, so she can't see that you are on the others are on the roof or anything. There's no like TV, no like sort of closed circuit TV cameras or anything.
Okay. So the only way down here is through the elevator.
The lift. Yeah, as far as you can see. Yeah.
I can't actually make. Okay. So I'm going to come back up and tell everyone.
While you're astral projecting, do you have like any solid form, or you can't interact with anything that's solid?
No, I don't think so. because I'm on the
you're
astral
you're just
plane looking
literally in
at
it.
it.
Yeah. So
Well,
you can't be seen, but you also can't interact with anything on the physical plane.
oh,
I'm
that's
like a proper child. Can't be seen, can't be heard.
Exactly. Okay, so you return to your body, so then you can impart that information across to the others.
So in the dust of the roof, I draw out what I just saw.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, and as I say, you pretty clearly there's only her in the building as far as you can see. Again, there was nobody else in the building apart from her. And again, she seemed to be perfectly oblivious to the fact that you lot are on the roof. So it's not like they've got closed circuit, because again, it's 1984, but there were, closed circuit TV cameras, but there's no evidence that she's got any. So it looks to be exactly what it seems to be. It looks like a bolt hole, like it clearly is an abandoned warehouse, and they've just used it as a temporary hideout.
Amateur
So,
hour at the student union.
yeah, basically, that's a good point. That, as you say, it's very this palette. They don't seem to be the most. They're not like Hydra or something. Do you know what I mean? They're
Yeah, it's not like the Bader-Meinhof gang. It's
no,
it's
these don't seem to be particularly driven. That's not to say all of them aren't, but certainly some of them. So again, for example, brown and orange seem to cough pretty quickly.
Yeah, they were hired guns, weren't they?
at this
Probably.
moment in time in 84.
Yeah.
We still believe that the information in European newspapers that Russia is funding international terrorism is absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're still in the middle of the Cold War at this point.
Yeah.
And again, if you remember from last time, it was established that Palette are considered to be it's believed that there is Russian involvement. So basically, it's like they're an organisation who are basically they're probably taking advantage of some idealists and some hired guns to just basically cause disruption and destabilization. Whether any of these people actually believe in the cause that they espouse is another matter, but certainly it does seem to be quite amateur hour. Again, the fact that there's no cameras. This warehouse is exactly probably as it was built in the 1940s, and they've just set up shop in the ground, in the basement, just as somewhere to hide out. And again, as what you've seen ties in with what Agent Brown had said, which was that those of them who got away were meant to rendezvous back here, and then they would get further instructions as to where to go. And so she presumably is the first one to get here.
Okay. Sorry, do we recognise her?
Yeah, so she's the same agent. She's the woman who Anorim
Was she the one
chasing.
flying around?
She was.
Yeah.
So she was the one that Anorim was chasing.
That's right. Okay.
When he disappeared into the woods.
Because I was wondering if she was someone that it doesn't matter because she was there and she ID'd all of us already, isn't she? So we can't brag that we are anyone other than ourselves.
Yeah, but again, you certainly have the drop on her, and again, it seems like she's on her own, which again is probably not a bad place to be in. But it depends what you want to do with that information, because again, she's there, and again, at the moment, she's the only one that you can see.
So the armor's clearly not here, right?
Yeah, Dice have said. I mean, Hansen said she would send people into the vicinity, but again, is worried about going in mob-handed.
I'm wondering if we don't just follow her, see where she goes, rather than apprehend her. If they're supposed to go there for further information, maybe we tail her somehow. What do you guys think?
Stakeout. Yeah.
You could
that, or go and beat her up and try and get information from her. But
yeah, I mean, that's certainly observation is a perfectly legitimate way to behave, because as you say, as far as you can see, she's the only one in the building at the moment.
Yeah.
And again, you again, given the information that you've been given by Hanson via Agent Brown, then basically, let me just check something quickly. Yeah, basically, he's led you to believe, and again, his information has obviously proven to be correct to this point.
Yeah.
That the plan is that whoever escaped. So you know that Agent Silver escaped.
Yeah.
As did Agent Emerald, i.e., giant gorilla dude.
The monkey guy. Yep.
Whereas Brown and Orange were captured.
Yep.
So you could legitimately expect Silver and Emerald to appear at some point. Now, bearing in mind you've flown here in a jet-powered vehicle, and also the if you remember, they had their own air car, but that was still at the scene. So that when they'd escaped, the ones who'd escaped had just basically legged it. Agent Emerald to sort of jump in through the trees, basically, and Silver managed to slip away. But they certainly weren't in their vehicle. So again, you have to assume it will take them some time to get here. I mean, certainly probably a couple of hours at least.
Yeah, whereas she could hop, couldn't she? She did like a nightcrawler, disappear, reappear.
She did like a
didn't
teleport thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So absolutely. So yeah, I mean, it's up if that you could certainly set up a stakeout.
Personally, I'd be inclined to hang on for, because she might not know any more than this Agent Brown fella or Orange. Which guy have we got? Brown or Orange? Whoever spoke.
Brown.
But
I not know any more than him. So if we apprehend her, it's like we've got no more information than we've already got. Whereas if we hang on,
we should get some more information from her, because I went into the woods chasing her. I was nobbled. Someone pretending to be me came out of the woods and nicked the armor, and she was then she was no longer anywhere to be seen.
Yeah, true. But that's an assumption that she knows more.
Yeah,
but it's a wise assumption. But I don't know. I feel like we've got more to gain by holding off and seeing what develops next.
Certainly, I mean, again, you can certainly afford to wait a bit and see what develops. Again, she doesn't seem, from what Anorin has told you, she certainly does not seem to be in a hurry to go anywhere. She's literally pottering around making a cup of coffee, and it's not like she's planning to abscond. She's literally.
I'd quite like to see if we can break in unnoticed and just have a sort of little look around while we're invisible.
Yeah, you can certainly do that. I'm sure. Again, she's one floor below you. Again, there is no obvious signs of surveillance that you could see. There's no cameras, so you could certainly gain access to the main floor of the warehouse without being observed. And again, it's stone floors. It's not going to be wooden floors, so she's not going to hear you walking around.
Anorin, the elevator that you found, did it go down? Is there a lower level at all?
Yes.
So she's on the lower level, basically. Yeah, she's on the lower level. It's basically the basement, I guess.
Yeah.
Call it the basement, but she's on the lower level, and it seems like the only way of accessing that is through the elevator. So again,
is through the elevator, right? Okay, cool.
If she starts to come up, if she decides to come up, you'll hear the elevator obviously being called, and then she'll be coming up. So again, it's not like she's going to be able to surprise you.
Yeah,
I can't make any of you astral.
No, that's fine. I think we can slip in, can't we? And we're invisible. We can creep about.
Yes, I can do one more round of invisibility. Then I've only got 5 magic points left. No, 10 magic points, because Captain Thingamage is not going to be there. So yeah, I'm going to stay upstairs. You two can go in invisible, and then I've got 10 magic points left.
Why is the invisibility worn off?
No, I've got to maintain it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it's 5. Let's say 5 points. Yeah.
Yeah. Should we go for a little look around?
I mean, what could possibly go wrong, hey?
Absolutely everything.
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong?
Oh, he's back. Oh.
Yeah. Kevin,
He
actually, I've got a
doesn't go
question to
anywhere. He
ask you.
secretly listens just
Yeah,
in
Kevin,
case.
I've got a
I'm,
question.
oh, sorry.
I've got a
Yep.
question to ask you. So when were you driving through Salfords earlier? Because Maddie says that she was in front of you.
Salford's. Probably. I came back. I dropped a table off in Kent somewhere.
Because she was driving home from work and she said that you were in the car behind her.
Oh yeah, the bridge is closed in bottom of Manor Royal, so I'd go the long way round.
That's funny. So we were all coming back from East Surrey Hospital, and then Maddie was leaving because Maddie works in Salford, so she was on the same road. And then apparently you were right behind her, so she made sure that I was to mention it to you. So
Yeah, probably. I didn't hit her, did I?
no, she said you weren't driving. She said you weren't driving like an idiot, so you're all right.
Oh,
I
sure is
wasn't.
me.
Yeah, first time for everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, and I heard what you said, Sarah, about the map. Yeah, you're right. Of course, yeah, exactly. I drew a map. So, okay. So what's the plan? So did I hear? So basically, Face Strike and Hyde are going to go in invisible. Is that right?
Yep.
Yes, I'm
We'd
gonna.
assume Captain
I've got.
Sonar's just lurking around somewhere, but
Yeah, I've got enough magic points to do him as well. So just 2.
okay.
And that gives me 10 magic points left, I think.
Okay. Well, okay. So one of you can. Basically, it's easy enough to just open the skylight for a start. It's not. It's locked, but it's ancient. Again, this building's not been maintained. So with Hyde's super strength, you can easily just break the. You just literally can. If there's a lock on it, you can just literally with your fingers just go. And
Yeah.
you'll just break it and it will open. Now it does creak some when it opens, but again, reminder that she is 1 story below. She's literally 2 stories below you.
Yeah.
So she's not going to hear a skylight opening. So
Yep.
nothing to worry about there. And you so you drop down. So again, I'm just going to, for the sake of clarity, if I just move Anurin and Captain Sonar out of the way. So
Yep.
again, you're now on this walkway, which is like 1 story, like a mezzanine.
Yep.
And this staircase just takes you down to the ground floor.
Yep. So I'm thinking I'll do a quick lap around the top on the mezzanine.
Cool. All right.
You're invisible. You're not quiet.
Yeah, exactly. So you are, but that's fine.
Clang,
The good news
clang,
is,
clang.
no. The good news is, no. The walkway is not clattery. It is solid. So as long as you are careful, if you're not stomping around, you're not going to make a lot of noise. And also, again, she's a floor below you, so again, it's not like she's on the ground. She's not below you. She's literally down a lift shaft and under a stone floor. So again, as long as you are quiet, you'll kind of you're purposeful with your steps. You're not going to make a lot of noise, and she's not going to hear you.
Okay.
So you do a circuit of the room. So again, over here is again below you. There's basically these double height access doors, which presumably would have been used for vehicles to offload. They are clearly locked from the inside. There is a rusted padlock, basically.
So does the gangway not go past that then, Steve? If
it goes
that's
over it, goes all the way around.
okay.
So you can literally walk the whole circuit of this gangway. Just goes all the way around. The purpose of the gangway is not essentially clear, apart from to get access to the skylight. You suspect they may have had, I don't know, crane or haulage, like block and tackle or something running around it back in when the warehouse.
It's also where supervisors stand to shout down at the lower level, isn't it?
Exactly. And on that note, so as you pass over this section, as I say, these offices, they're basically just cubicles. They've been made. They're not. So essentially, as you're walking over the top of them, you can see down into them because they've literally been partitioned off with, temporary walls. And again, they're not permanent. They've just obviously been put in place. And again, they are literally office space, and they've got a desk and a couple of chairs, most of which are toppled over. And you can see there's a few bits of paperwork, like old paperwork covered in dust, littered around. But clearly, again, apart from those leaflets which are in the centre office, where there is a few of the pallet leaflets, which you guess may have been used where if they were like sending out, communications or something. But again, no signs of any modern equipment, no signs of any. There's not even any telephones in any of the offices. I mean, there probably would have been at some point, but presumably when the warehouse was emptied, it was stripped of anything
Yeah.
valuable. And again, these wooden, although they look like wood in the picture, these are meant to be like metal shelving units, and they're like, you know, double height. But again, other than a few bits of paper and, you know, discarded rubbish, there isn't anything on them. And then over here again, so this is this is again, you can actually see down into the toilet, because again, it's been made from a you know, from temporary partition, and there's literally there's a toilet, and there's a sink, and you know, hand towel thing in there. So it's a toilet, and then this is the lift, and obviously this is enclosed. But yeah, this is where the lift shaft is, and again, it's an industrial lift with like telescoping metal doors across them.
Okay.
Right. So, and again, clearly there's nobody on this floor, and again, you've seen no evidence of any sort of surveillance or because again, a building this age wouldn't have cameras, but if it had been retrofitted in the 70s or 80s, you might have seen you know, kind of security cameras, but there's no sign of anything like that you can see.
Okay. Face right.
So, face right. What would you like to do, if anything?
So can I make my way down to the ground?
Yep.
And have a little look at the metal unit things, see what they are.
Please do. Yeah, just move your miniature over, or move your token over to where you want to go.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. So what they are is they're basically, if you imagine like glorified you know, shed storage racks. So they're metal. They're pretty sturdy, and they were clearly used to hold some sort of, you know, whatever merchandise, whatever this place dealt in. And again, all that's left is simply lots of dust, and there's a few bits of paper. You can have a look at the bits of paper. There's nothing tied to pallet. It just seems to be kind of old shipping notices. But again, if you look at anything on them, the dates are, you know, 20 years ago.
And if I were to walk around, is that sort of the same?
Yeah, there's literally nothing of any. There's no boxes or anything. There's, like I say, there's if you root around, you might, you know, there's, like I say, there's a few bits of waste paper and lots of dust. Seems to be no fork handles, no.
Okay.
Yeah, so it all looks pretty innocuous, really. Again, not a bad place for a hideout, honestly, because again, and I reiterate, at the moment the only lights coming in here is through the skylight, which again, it's getting darker, obviously, so it's now getting quite dim inside the building. You're okay, Face, right? Because you've got obviously enhanced sight, so you're able to see pretty clearly.
Yeah.
But again, it's not anything sinister. It's just the fact that there's no lights on, so it's just getting dark outside, and the only light's coming through the skylight, so it's just getting dimmer and dimmer inside the warehouse.
Steve, the doors, are they locked or are they lockable?
What, for the elevator?
No. For the in and out of the
Okay.
Right,
so
that
right,
one.
so
And this one.
right, so the one that the big doors are locked from the inside with a rusty looking but very impressive looking padlock.
Okay.
But you can easily just break it without breaking a sweat.
No, that's fine. I'm not expecting anyone to come through there, am I?
Interestingly, the personnel door is not padlocked, but it is locked. So presumably that would be how as Agent Azure would have got into the building, would be through the personnel door.
Yeah.
So it is locked, but it is not locked with a padlock. It is just locked. It's got a key lock essentially.
Okay.
So you assume the pallet agents all have a key to get in, or they've come in through the skylight. Although again, that was still locked. So.
Yep.
And again, you know, a giant green ape is not a easy thing to hide, but you know.
Okay. If we're still looking around, would it be possible to have a look at these rooms over here?
Absolutely. So you've got 3 offices. So the middle office has got in it on the desk. So each of the rooms has a almost an identical desk, very basic functional desk. There are 2 chairs in each room, one behind the desk, one the other side of the desk. In all of the rooms, at least one of the chairs has just been upended. It's just on the floor. And again, they look old, and you probably wouldn't want to risk sitting on them. Now, the offices have got filing cabinets in them, but the filing cabinets are basically empty, with the exception of a few scraps of paper. But again, nothing obviously related to pallet. The only thing is the middle office, as you're looking at it, has on the desk, there is a small stack of pallet pamphlets. They are clearly new, or at least they're not, they're not contemporary with the warehouse. They've obviously been put there subsequently. And again, you suspect that maybe they have in the past, done, because pallet is a sort of semi, or at least presents as a semi-legitimate political movement, you can expect they might have been sending out pamphlets via post to people, so again, that might explain why they're there. But the only thing it does is it just highlights the fact that there is a link to pallet in this building.
Yeah.
But again, looking through again, if you examine filing cabinets, again, all you find is the odd scrap of paper, but again, nothing suspicious or that would link to pallet, apart from those few pamphlets sitting on the desk there.
Okie dokie. Can I go and speak with Hyde?
Yeah, of course, please. Yeah, and again, you
Thanks.
can speak freely, because again, she's not going to hear you
I
from
can't.
below.
But
Can't
she
do
doesn't know
anything.
where I am because I'm invisible.
Oh, good
That's
point.
true. That is
You're
true.
both invisible. That is a good point, actually.
Which, if you were invisible, you are almost ethereal. So is it a case that obviously astral, you're going the astral plane.
Yeah.
With the invisibility, is it a case that actually you are going sort of astral, but you're going maybe on the ethereal plane, and therefore you can see other people that are invisible?
I mean,
Or
hell,
is
I'm
it-
happy with that. I don't. It doesn't really.
Or we are sensible enough that we wouldn't have wandered off without saying, "I'm going to have a look around. I'll meet you back here."
Yeah, that's probably more likely.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, if you're in my eyes, if you're invisible, you won't be seen you can't be seen because you're invisible. But
Yeah.
again, you probably would say that we'll meet back by the double doors, and so you get back there and you can sort of say, "Are you here, Face Strike?" And you can have a conversation. You just can't see each other.
Yeah, just to work out what to do next. I can't find anything that's of any use. I wonder if we need to go and confront her.
I think so. Should we go get an orange? You think?
Maybe, yeah, I think it's a good idea. I could do the cup of coffee as well.
That's true.
Well,
Getting
apparently, she
late.
can make a cup of coffee.
Yeah, well, she's got a kitchen.
Yeah, cool.
We wouldn't be going in invisible though.
No, that's fine.
The only thing I
We
would say is
needed
that she hasn't got
invisibility for.
anywhere to go, has she? She's got nowhere to go.
Yeah, we just wanted that for recon. Well, you say that, Steve, but she's managed to disappear and reappear, so I don't know the extent
That
of
is
her
true.
ability. She might be able to just bamf out.
That is
So
true. You don't
we
know that.
might want to prepare for that.
Oh, how can we prepare for that? Well, I don't know.
Well, I guess ideally you want to try and get the drop on her if you can, but that will be difficult because, again,
Going down the elevator. But would she not be expecting her comrades to be coming?
she would. That's a good point. She certainly expect you again, going upon the information that Agent Brown has given you, which again so far has proved to be at least accurate. The plan is for them to regroup here. Any who get away from the mission are to regroup here. So you're right. You would probably actually, and you think about it, because you have super speed, you would certainly get the drop on her, because you're right. If she hears the lift coming down, one would assume it is one or more of the others.
Yeah.
So her first reaction is not going to be defensive. It's going to be, oh, here come my colleagues.
Yeah.
Then you're going to have, because you have super speed, you will get the drop on her.
Okay.
Now, obviously, that might, so whether that's enough time for you to get to her and kind of, to capture her before she teleports away, you don't know. But it certainly will have that. You'll have an opportunity to take advantage of that, because again, you've got super speed. So, I mean, Kevin has got.
I haven't, but I have got enough spell points to do one person with super speed, and then I'm out
Yeah,
of
because
spell
you can
points.
use enhancement to give yourself super speed, can't you?
Yeah. So has
So
everyone got?
can we let's go up so I can speak to Anurin at
Okay,
least.
so you regroup up on the roof, no problem.
Yeah,
Drop the invisibility. So I've got 10 points left.
because Anurin's already fought this lass, hasn't he? Like they had a 1-on-1. Do you, Anurin? Did you pick up any idea as to what she's doing when she? Is there any way to stop her from doing it? Like, did he get a read on what she was doing, or?
I didn't fight her. I got into the woods looking for her, and then suddenly I'm whacked on the head. I'm unconscious.
Okay, so you didn't notice that she had to mutter a phrase before she disappeared. She didn't do any hand
I
gestures.
didn't see her in the woods. I'd got in the woods, and then bang, I'm unconscious.
Right. Okay.
Oh, how I'd love it if she said Shazam or something, but she doesn't.
Right.
That would be so awesome.
Because yeah, if she had to mutter a phrase and we potentially gag her if she's got to move her hands, then it's.
Yeah.
But if it's just a mental ability, then we're going to have to, I don't know what, knock her out before she has a chance to react. Because I feel like she's just going to slip between our fingers as soon as we.
One other thing to bear in mind, of course, is that you might find that she's as lightweight as the others, though, because don't forget the other two, they literally flipped. So in other words, if you just say to her, "Listen, don't tell it. Listen to us. We can offer you a deal. We're not interested in you. We just want to get to the armor."
Yeah.
It might very well be that she'll just go, "Yeah, okay, fine." You don't know, because again, the only evidence you've got so far of Pallet is the Agent Silver seemed to be the one with all the talk, but the other two clearly were just hired, as you say, hired muscle, and
Yeah.
they flipped without much encouragement. So it certainly is possible that she will listen to you. But again, you're right. There's a risk. You just don't know.
Yeah.
From what you've
Okay.
seen of her, she's able to teleport away. You don't know what that means in terms of range. Can she teleport miles away, or can she only teleport short distance? But you just
Yeah.
don't know.
Is it somewhere she has to see?
Yeah, maybe. Exactly right. It is a risk.
Okay.
I guess your options are you can either try and deal with her whilst you've got her outnumbered, and again you have the advantage of surprise, or you can wait and see if any of the others turn up. You know that, for example, Agent Emerald is a big gorilla, so he's not teleporting anywhere. And similarly with Agent Silver, if you remember, he seemed to be pretty. He had a suit of armor, but he wasn't actually that tough. So again, that's your option really. You can wait it out, or you can try and deal with her, and whilst you've got the advantage of surprise. And I guess also, I don't know, because again, Honorin can cast super speed, and you've got super speed high, so you can get on her pretty quickly.
Yeah. So my thoughts are the knowledge that we have is that okay, so we're after this armor. The armor isn't here. One of the people that we've already apprehended doesn't know much more than come here for more information. If she is as a similar ranking to him, she will have no more information other than come here for more information. Whether or not they're being contacted or whether or not she's already picked up the information, that's something we don't know. So we either try and knock her out, I don't know to what end, we try and reason with her, or we observe her and see how things progress.
So I think I'm going to give Face Strike the speed rather than me, because you've got claws and some sort of attack. I've got nothing beyond that. Once those spells are gone, I'm just going to be standing there doing nothing. So I think I'm going to give you the speed.
Okay.
So because you've got claws and you've got a somersault attack.
Before you decide, I was thinking we might be as well to wait and see who else turns up, because if we think that she might have come here for more information as well, we probably want to wait for the person who's got that information to make sure that they're here before we start asking questions.
Yep.
Having said, let's go in and get stuck into it. We might be better off waiting for more people to come.
I'm on board with that.
Mm-hmm.
Only because
Okay.
I don't know what to do with this lass when we, I'm worried she's either going to escape or she doesn't know anything anyway. So I'd be inclined to wait.
Okay.
Cool.
Yep, you can wait. Absolutely, that's absolutely fine. Okay. So, all right. So you set up shop and you wait. So an hour passes and no sign of anybody else. And then 2 hours pass. Again, you don't know that dice are in the area, but you can only assume that the warehouse is being observed because Hanson told you she would have eyes on the place, but would hold back to allow you to go in first. And after 2 hours, then just bear with me. I've got to pull something up.
I don't know how long before Technon comes back.
Oh god.
Again, you don't know because again he's been called off by his corporate overlords. But again, you don't know even whether he knows where you are because he certainly wasn't able to. He certainly didn't follow you. But having said that, it is possible. Right. Okay. Right. So. Right. After it's been 2 hours. Those of you up on the roof here. So obviously you guys inside are now visible, by the way, because I'm assuming Kevin hasn't been paying magic points to keep you.
No.
You are you are hidden.
I thought we went back up on the roof.
Did you go back on the roof? You're back up on the roof. Oh, that's fine. So you're back up on the roof, but you're keeping an eye out, obviously looking for any more signs of life. And after, as I say, 2 hours or so have gone past, and then a black cab pulls down the street. And again, this is a dingy East End street in the mid 1980s. Very few people about. This black cab gets out, and comically, out of this black cab climbs the oversized green form of Agent Emerald. He is wearing a very basically wearing a very oversized overcoat in an attempt to disguise himself, but clearly he's not getting away with it. He's like Ben Grimm, putting on a raincoat. He pays off the cab driver, who seems to be only too happy to disappear. And he kind of looks around surreptitiously, and then you see him unlock this door, and he enters the warehouse. And as you're watching from above, again, you're viewing from overhead, and again, bearing in mind the warehouse is now dark. Now he actually walks in, and he flicks a switch, and lights come on inside the warehouse. Now he can't see you because you're up on the roof. You're observing through this grimy skylight. And he just basically heads straight over to the lift and noisily opens the doors on the lift. And you know what those goods lift sounds like when, it's got clattering as he opens the door, gets into the lift, and the lift descends again noisily. You can hear that from up on the roof, in fact, as it sort of clatters and groans. And he then disappears in the lift.
Anurin, now would be, if you can, astral project to spy on what they're talking about.
Can I hear in actual form?
Can't
remember.
Good question.
Just,
I mean, I'm going to say yes. I mean,
I'm
I'm sure the way we've used it before,
the magician can see everything that the time is taken to look for. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't say. So yes, I've got enough to do. Yes, I've got enough to do the astral projection.
Yeah, it doesn't say that you can't hear, so I'm going to say that you can hear. I think that's reasonable. So do you want to do that then?
Yes,
Great. So you
and therefore I've got one
Measly.
five spells left. I can do that. I'm trying to work out what I could have. Energy strike is not part of that. Okay, energy strike. So I could do energy strike if I needed to, but I can cast spells. Okay, yes. I'm good to go astrally.
okay? So let's pop you into the room. Right. So you drift down the lift shaft, come out into the, and you come into the room, and the two of them are involved in quite a heated discussion. Now he's got a very loud voice, Agent Emerald. He's like, I mean, he talks normally, but he's got a very loud / gruff voice. And Azure seems to be, she's talking to him. She says, oh, I'm glad you're here, Emerald. She goes, what the hell happened? Agent Black made me a drink. And I must have passed out. I don't remember anything. I woke up here hours ago, and you guys you'd all gone. I presume you'd gone on the mission. Did nobody think to wake me up or to check on me? She goes, what the hell happened? I've been here for hours. I didn't know what else to do, so I've just been waiting. And he says, what are you talking about? I saw you there at Farnsworth Hall myself. You was flying around with that magic person chasing you. Don't give me that. What are you saying? You weren't there. You were there. I saw you with my own eyes. In fact, I was going to ask you what the hell happened to that. What the hell was that trick with you disappearing in front of everybody? I was so surprised. I nearly got captured. I had to take to the trees to get out of there. He says, honestly, this outfit is. He says it's a complete mugs game. I'm thinking we should cut our losses and get out. What do you think?
I love that he's a Cockney ape.
Of course he is. And she goes, I don't know what. Listen, I'm telling you, I don't remember anything. He must have drugged me. Why the hell would he drug me? I don't understand. She goes, what do you mean? You said that I disappeared. Listen, you know that I can't teleport. That's not my powers. I can fly and I can shoot wind, but I don't teleport. You know it. You know that I can't do that. Well, how do I know? You might have been hiding it. We don't. All I can tell you is what I saw. Because listen, something smells about this. I don't like it. She says, I'm going to get my stuff and I'm going to get out of here. And I suggest you do the same. And he heads off over to one of the over the bunks, and there's like chests underneath, and he starts pulling out comically oversized clothes.
Right, straight back to the my body.
He's got like a duffel bag and a he's got like a duffel bag and a very funny looking flat cap that that just about barely fits on top of his head.
So I'm going to flip back to my body and then tell these guys everything that they just heard.
So to summarise, Agent Azure is saying that she was not at Farnsworth Hall. That somebody called Agent Black, who was presumably another pallet operative, had given her a drink or something and had drugged her, and so she has no recollection. And she was also said that she does not have the ability to teleport.
Yeah, it sounds like this Agent Black is mimicking people and
maybe
has more powers. Okay.
But
so
again,
I think he mimics her and then he mimics Anurin.
Very possibly.
Oh, yeah.
So that'd be shape-shifting or something, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, you don't know.
But also, they have the ability to teleport and not her. So We
So
definitely
she's
want to
not.
get in and get the jump on these guys, right?
She said she's not a teleporter, so
Yeah.
she's saying I don't know. It wasn't me basically who took the armor. And even Emerald, who's a thick Cockney ape, is like, I don't. This smells. I'm getting out of here. I don't like the way this is going.
Okay.
He's,
Right.
he's like, if one of our own is setting you up, then this is not for me. I'm out. And he's as I say, he's clearly gathering his belongings to get the hell out of there. And you assume that she's doing the same.
So do we
So-
want to fight them, or do we want to sort of plead with them and say, look, you are being set up. We can help you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no point in fighting with them
Yeah.
because they are confused.
Yeah.
So we can use the fact that we captured Agent Orange
Agent Mud.
as a
Agent Orange.
Agent Orange and Mud, and use that as a we know more than you, or we know everything kind of ploy.
And we can
Certainly.
also use the classic. You could go away for doing this, for doing that, but we don't want you. We want the guys ahead of you. So we can forget all of that stuff and not put you away for years and years if you give up information.
Point is,
Certainly.
from what Anorin has overheard is that both of them that they're obviously not lying because, well, as far as you know, they're not lying because they don't know that you were listening.
Yeah.
And so the main takeaways are she's saying it wasn't her. She can't teleport, so clearly it wasn't her who took the armor. And even Emerald, who as I say, he's like something about this. I don't know. So, like you say, there's a good chance here that you could, if you spin it properly, you could convince them to just give up, to surrender. Because
So
ultimately,
Agent Black
what have they? They've done nothing. So Azure is saying she wasn't even there.
Yeah.
And Emerald, got into a fight with you lot, but didn't. None of the foreign ministers were injured or harmed, and other than a bit of property damage. So again, you could, and I'm sure you could convince Hanson to make them a deal, because again, that's what she's, pretty much the other two went, yep, we'll take a deal. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, we want them to think they're in the shit. So we want to say, look, because you're connected to this organization who have done this and that, anyone connected to them is, going to be prosecuted for this, that, and the other.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
So
we want you.
Agent Black wasn't at the hall. We didn't know anything about this
He
Agent
did not
Black
see
chap.
anyone who would fit the description of Agent Black, presuming he's wearing black, given that they all wear colours.
Yeah. So when we turn up and
the only ones that you saw were Agent Azure, what you thought was Agent Azure, Agent Emerald, Agent Orange, Agent Brown, Agent Silver. They were the only ones that you saw at the hall.
Yeah.
we can use that to advantage by saying, right, we know Agent Black and Agent Silver are involved in this. We're interested in Agent Black because he's on our hit list. We're not interested in you, just Agent Black. And that then gives us a way in, because Emerald knows Agent Black wasn't there.
Yeah.
He's like, well, how do they know about Agent Black? Then we've got more information than them, and also we can say we spoke. We've got Orange and Pineapple, whatever the other guy's name is, on ice, and they fingered Agent Black. So we want Agent Black, and that we know that she's got a beef with Agent Black.
Mm-hmm.
That might be a way in to interrogate her.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Cool.
Hands in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Go Team Eagle.
That's it.
Okay. I mean, and also the good news is you've only really got one way of approaching this, because the only way down is the lift.
Yeah.
And again, as we discussed previously, then they will hear you coming, but again, they're still expecting at the very least Agent Silver, because Emerald will know that Agent Silver got away. So they are still expecting at least one other. Well, in fact, they don't know for sure. I mean, I think it was pretty clear that Agent Orange was captured because he was unconscious before things wrapped up. But Agent Brown, they're not sure about, and Agent Silver, Emerald believes got away. So,
Steve, is there any way for us to signal the DICE agents who are watching this warehouse and get them to move in and secure?
why don't we send Captain Sonar to do that?
That's it. That's what he can do. Yep.
So you can send Captain Sonar off to go and he goes off to locate them.
Yep.
And I'll put you all over here. I assume that's
Because
where
that
you want
might
to go.
even be part of our bluff that, it's not just us, there is a dozen or so.
And again, that's not a bluff. I mean, again, you can rest assured that if Hansen said that there would be
Yep.
agents in the vicinity, there will be agents. So Sonar will go off and find them.
So there's no escape for them.
No. Yeah. A few sirens wouldn't hurt, really, would it? Although they won't hear them down below. But yeah, as you say. Yeah. So we'll send him off. That's convenient. He goes off to go and locate them.
And the eagle wing hovering above the warehouse is also
also a good incentive. Yeah, you can arrange that as well. You can call her in, and she can bring the eagle wing, even just land it on the roof, even. Right. So you go off and you call. So are you going to call the lift? Because once you call the lift, then you're sort of committed. Because the lift's obviously on the ground floor because Emerald went down in it. But you call the lift then. So the lift comes up, and so you know that they will have heard it because they will clearly have heard it. And then so you get in the lift, and let's put you down on the map. Yeah, again, these tokens are it's just annoying that the tokens are slightly too. I could make the tokens smaller, but I don't know. I don't mind having them of a size because we can work out the distances. So again, just remember these are like 1 meter squares. But anyway, so you come down in the lift, and you open the door, and these two are like the kind of first reaction is they are obviously quite surprised. So I'll give you, and you've got the opportunity to talk to them before we go into combat, because their first reaction is going to be to try and fight, but you're going to have the opportunity to talk them out. So I'll let you go for it.
Yeah. So imagine she's going to be a bit confused because she doesn't recognize us.
Exactly. She doesn't know who you are, and he says, he sort of says, he says it's too late. We're being rumbled.
Me and the Aper got.
These are them super Neros from earlier. And he sort of drops into a fighting stance.
Stop monkeying around.
Yeah, stop monkeying around. Stop monkeying around. And she sort of is. She sort of holds up her hands. You heard her mention that she can use wind, but
she's got wind.
They're kind of she's got wind. They're kind of waiting because again, this is not a good situation for them because you're in an enclosed space. Emerald knows that Hyde is at least as strong as he is.
Yeah, I'm gonna step forward and I'm gonna lay it out to them. I'm gonna say, look, upstairs there is 24 dice agents. There is no way out of here. We've secured the perimeter.
I put my hand to my ear and go, hold.
We are aware of your affiliation with name escapes me, Pallet. Who have recently become enemies of the government. We can arrest you on, and I'm going to lay out a bunch of charges. Half of them are probably fabricated. But the thing is, we don't want you.
Described terror group.
That's exactly it, yeah. We don't want you. We want your superiors. Mainly, we want Agent Black.
Right, and at the mention of the name Agent Black, both of their demeanors change visibly. So she is, or he is surprised that you know the name Agent Black because, again, as you rightly said, he was not present at Farnsworth Hall.
Yep.
And she clearly recoils from the name because, again, from what Honorin has relayed to you, she's realised that he's basically tried to set her up by drugging her, and both of them they imperceptibly relax slightly, and you can see that you are getting through to them.
Okay.
And they kind of pause and they sort of you look at each other. Now, as this is happening, all of a sudden there is an explosion in the lift shaft, and you all unthinkingly sort of jump away from it. And just bear with me a moment.
You set us up, Steve. You knew this was going
It's
to
shocking,
happen.
isn't it?
You can't claim, Steve, you didn't know this was going to happen.
Yeah, you got
Oh
me.
my god.
Could have given us a heads up. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, right?
And
That's some GM bullshit. Just
explosions go off.
Oh, no.
And as I say, you sort of jump forward, and there's like debris and rubble comes, and like cloud of dust comes blowing into the room. And as you're recovering from that, now these two again are they sort of jump back, obviously surprised. And as you, then as you're kind of gathering, you're picking yourself up, sort of coughing and spluttering off the ground. Out of the wall panels open in the room, and you see these devices, these like mechanical devices come flying out of concealed panels. And these things are small. They look like warheads, but they've got small propellers on them. They look like really primitive drones.
Yeah,
If I sort of zoom one up a bit so you can see better what it looks like.
that's awesome.
All right. And then, but these have come out of the, and Azure, where did that one go? I'll get rid of one from over there. Hold on. Okay, yes, there should be, there's 4 of these come out of concealed panels. And Azure says she sort of, actually, she has the power up, she has flight. Now, obviously, you're in a single story room, but she kind of leaps away and she goes, Emerald, get the hell out of the way. And these things begin to move. This one comes close to Emerald, and it comes once it gets close to him, it explodes.
Steve?
Yeah.
Could I possibly interject with my super speed? Can I rush and bat it away? Because I'd like to try to protect him to show that we're potentially on their side. But if not, that's fine. I'm happy to roll with your narrative.
No, I'm happy. So, okay. So what happens is you've jumped away from the explosion. Now we're going to go into combat timing, but only because these device. So I'm going to have you and the so these guys are going to they're not going to take combat actions because they're just trying to get away from these things. They seemingly recognize, or certainly Azure recognizes what these things are.
Yep.
So I am simply going to roll a d10 for you, and that doesn't work. 2. Okay, excellent. Right. So basically, you're going to get a frame of action before these things get to move.
Okay.
So the first one, as I say, comes out of its hiding, and just by pure luck, because Emerald is standing in close proximity, this thing gets close to him, and then it just explodes. And it does. Bear with me. Right, so this basically hits him with 11 hits to coma. Or it will potentially, because again, I'm going to make your action's going to work like a dodge, like an evasion roll because of your speed. So potentially he's going to be. It's not going to kill him, but it's going to hurt him. Again, he's got a reasonable hits to coma. Now, so you your reactions, because you're super speed, you're going to get to go first, and yes, you can basically. I'm going to get you to run over to him, and you want to bat the thing out of the way with your cricket bat, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I just want you to give. If you can just give me a d20 roll. That's a 12. Right. Let me just figure out what these things are going to be.
So even if it blows up on impact from my cricket bat, hopefully the cricket bat will sort of take some of the.
It's a very cinematic response. I'm treating it like a parry because you're using a weapon to smite it away. So you run in front of him again in a blur of motion. You just kind of zip across, obviously probably without even thinking, and you twat this thing with your cricket bat, and you get it far enough away so that the explosion it goes off, and you are knocked to the ground, but you're not injured, and Emerald is also not injured, and he basically offers you his hand and picks you up.
Okay.
And he's like, cheers. Now these other bombs are going to move. So you all get a frame of action. So I'm going to have Azure. She sort of is just desperately trying to keep away from these things. So she's just flying this direction. So next up, I think is Phase Strike. So Phase Strike. What would you like to do? So you have got you've got basically a frame.
Yeah.
Because you won by one frame. So you've got frame, which only is really enough for you to either hit something or move, basically.
Yeah. Are these drones small enough that I could take one out with an arrow? Do I think?
Yeah, they're basically. It doesn't really describe how.
I was thinking they're about American football size.
Yeah, they're not much bigger than that. Yeah, they're quite small. As I say, they're pretty. I mean, they're clever, but they're not obviously given the time frame. Yeah, so I think that's fair. They're basically like an American football with a control pad on it and these little propellers. So they're prototype drones basically.
Okay, I'm gonna work on the assumption that nobody else is helpless and therefore needs protecting. So I will try and shoot down the one that's closest to me.
Absolutely fine. So if you can give me so I'm going to get you to make a D20 roll. So your weapon class, I think, is with your bow and arrow is weapon class. So bow is weapon class 4. So yeah, and I think these are like, I think Kevin, I don't know about you, but I think these are like only like a weapon class 1 or 2. They're nothing.
Oh yeah. I can have a quick look.
Sorry, defense class. It doesn't specify in the scenario what their defense class is.
I mean, their job is to blow up, right?
Yeah, exactly. So they're nothing. So actually, no, they're 11. Yeah, they're going to be like 11 or 12, which means you've only got to get. I think you've basically got to get with weapon class 4. I think you've got to get like a 3 or better to hit them.
Oh, okay.
Because that counts in the game. That basically counts as non-superpowered individuals or thugs cannot dodge. So I'm taking that as that's what I'm going to put these down as. So yeah. So as long as you don't roll a 1 or a 2.
Yeah, no, it doesn't specify what weapons class.
I rolled an 8, so we're okay.
What did you get?
8.
Perfect. So you shoot it, and this thing just blows up as it's leaving its little silo. It just sort of explodes. And again, the explosion is it's like sort of it's quite a small explosion. They're designed to go off if they're within 2 meters of a target. So they're not. It's not like a vast explosion. It's like a stealth flying hand grenade basically. So you twat that one and it disappears. Now, unfortunately, as you do that, you can hear another one seems to spin up. So from over here where Agent Emerald was and this one. So there seems to be another one in the chamber for both, and you can hear the drone of the little motors again. But that's a problem for next time. So right, Norrin, over to you.
So I have only got 5 magic points left. I think I am going to meditate and try and get some magic points back.
Okay. So are you going to take a round just to?
Yeah, I should have been doing that earlier to gain some back, but I'm going to take a round to try and get some magic points back.
Yep. Okay, you can do that. I mean, you might want to. The problem is I don't suppose you can't really meditate if you're moving. Actually, to be fair though, you're okay. You're going to be okay for at least a round because these things aren't. None of them are actually close to you. So that's fine. So I'll let you do that. Hyde, you can take another act because you used up half your super speed gives you like half a frame in advance of everybody else, but I'm going to give you a frame. So if you want to, again, move or attack something, you can do that. So if you want to go and have a go at that other cricket, you want to hit that other one with a cricket bat, you can do that.
Yeah. So I'll take a swipe at the next one.
Go for it. So again, D20 again, as I say, it's a weapon class, defense class 11. So you just need to make sure that you don't roll like a 1 or a 2, I think. And yeah, there you go, perfect. Right. So again, you just twat the thing, and it just explodes in a satisfying with a satisfying bang as you you basically knock it back into the little hidden bay that it was coming out of. And it blows satisfyingly. Right, cool. So that's you. So again, Azure is right. So as I'm going to get Azure to go next. So she seems to be thinking. So basically, you've now got the rest of your frames to use up. So she actually uses her. She's got wind power. Not as bad as it sounds. So she kind of gestures with her hands. And she's got weapon class 3, so she needs to roll a 4 or better. Oh, just. So she shoots some sort of, almost like a vortex of air comes out of her hands, and she takes out this one. And again, though, there is the drone. You can hear the drone of another one. Spinning up in the bay there. Right, so back to the top. So Emerald, he just basically sort of drags you back into the middle of the room, Hyde. So he sort of urges you to come back. But this one is now. There's no other. You can see that there's no other drone coming out of that bay. So it looks like there was 2 in each. So he sort of drags you back in the middle of the room. He's like looking around warily to see where the next threat's coming from. So Hyde, you can go next. What do you want to do? You've got your other 2 frames to use up.
I will, I guess, run for this one up here.
Great, and then give me a D20.
What's it?
Oh, yeah, that's good enough. All right, that one blows, and again, there's now nothing else comes out of this one because again, you took out the one was taken out. Oh no, that was only stand corrected. That was the first one. So again, you hear the drone of the engine in this one. There's obviously 2 in each bay, but you can just hear it spinning up. So you can probably just hit it next round.
Mm-hmm.
And then right. So then Face Strike, you're next. You want to have another shot at this one?
Yeah, I'll give this one another shot.
So you just knock another arrow and
yeah, let's see how we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, 14.
Cool. So it goes, and then Honorin, you're up next. So you've taken a round off. So what do you want to do? You've got some magic points back now.
How many magic points do I get back?
Did you get 5? Is it 5? I'm going to give you 5.
About 5 of it, so it gives me 10. So I am going to go to. So I'm going to cast 6. How many is there? There is 1. There's 5 of us. So I'm going to cast 10. Use 10 magic points and cast a mystic shield for everyone.
Okay. Right. So knock off those points, and basically the
That's it.
So
I'm out. So
the air around you all shimmers, and there is a protective shield appears around you.
that's everyone, including the villains.
Yeah, I got it. So Azure, she acts next. She once again is going to take a pop at this guy. Yeah, so she hits again with the wind blast. That's now taken that one out. So there's only one of these things left now, which is over there. So that's this guy. So yeah, do you want to have a pop at him? Give me a D20 roll. Oh no, you're good. You need to roll 3 or better, so that's good enough. So again, you just catch it with the edge of your bat, and boom. And this again, because you've got the energy shield around you, you don't even feel the kind of concussion. So you recap. You basically all come together, and these two go in, or Emerald goes right.
Oh,
I don't know.
As we
Yeah.
approach one another, can I put my finger to my lips and sort of pull on my ear as though we're being listened to?
Okay, you do that.
Just use hushed voices, maybe.
And he says, "I don't do hushed." He says, "Listen, I don't know what's going on here, but I guarantee you, I will tell you everything I know. Just get us out of here. I will do I'll tell you everything I know. Me and her, we're done with this." And she sort of comes and lights down onto the ground, and she agrees, and she says, "I agree." She goes, "I didn't sign up for this." But as they light, then you hear there is another. You hear a concussion above, and suddenly the ceiling begins to collapse on you, and that's where we're going to leave it for tonight, as it's now just gone 10 o'clock.
Mystic Shield. So we should read.
Thankfully, you put the Mystic Shield up.
Gorilla Geezer. That should be his superhero name.
I couldn't help but slip. I couldn't help but slip into Diamond Geezer, which was Miles' character, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was basically Phil Mitchell who turned into a diamond. That was because he was called Diamond Geezer, wasn't he?
Yeah, lock up in the East End.
He was a funny character. But basically, so as as I say, Kevin, you were right to be suspicious because whoever was watching has obviously tried to finish you off. But as I say, we'll leave it there. Smoke fills the room, but again, thanks to Kevin with his Mystic Shield, you are unharmed. However, you are in darkness, and that's where we will pick it up next time. Thank you, everyone, for tonight. I hope it was fun for you, as it was for me.
Absolutely.
Steve always is.